wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right and see life do what you want.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. Oh, to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop.
Make sure you're unmuted.
What is going on, my Hendrix family, part-time family, everybody in chat that is here for the live? Welcome, welcome. We've got Tyler back. I hope everybody's excited to see Tyler back. Not that last week was bad at all, but it's just been a little more fun having him there to talk with Bass Grenade Bait. He was an awesome first guest, but Tyler has been busy. Tyler, tell the folks, what have you been up to, man?
Well, I've been working hard in the shop, trying to catch up on orders. A lot of stuff going on at home that's to be taken care of, because home sometimes is more important, and family, and the other people in my life other than the Hendrix family. So I took some time last week to catch up on some things and get back in order, but now we're back.
Perfect. And I see you're in the shop today. I'm guessing you're probably packing some orders. I know you've been having some fire live sales. If you guys are missing out on those, I highly recommend getting on Instagram. He does some live sales from time to time, and you don't want to miss those because I felt like you were just giving stuff away at some of those prices, but it was like $6.50 for packs of Jawtech. I mean, who's doing that right now? I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, as far as I know, the lowest, there's a couple tackle shops in person you can get Jawtech for $5.49. But we handle the baits and we have to ship everything, so our prices are a little higher. We stick at like $7.99. So to be able to give them away for $6.50, that's a big deal.
Oh man! So you've been in the shop, you've been busting it. Whew, I've been getting some fishing in. If you guys haven't been seeing the content, man, when this live's over, please go check the videos out below, as well as go check my guys Heavy Z Fishing Out. I gotta throw them a quick little props. Man, was this slam hard for me. I enjoyed the box, by the way, Tyler. I loved the Active Catch OG Takeover box. I loved that it was all topwater. I get it. You got to do a topwater month. I will be the first to admit, though, I am not a topwater guy. Like,
Really?
I'm slowly transitioning. Like, the first thing I was doing was frogs. And as you guys have seen, or if you haven't, go check it out. I've caught some really nice bass on the new Hendrix frogs. They've done amazing. But
This color, right?
yes, the Midas popper. Yep. I actually have it sitting right over here because I had to cut it off because I had to put some other stuff on for the slam. But I'll admit, I've done popper baits in the past. I feel comfortable with those. Walking baits I've done, but I don't throw buzz baits.
Really? That's my go-to topwater bait.
I don't know why. I always looked at that bait. I'm like, there's no way this thing works. There's no way. Well,
I've there's been a few shows where I've sold in person, and guys get concerned about the size of a buzz bait. So if you look at a buzz bait, they're anywhere from 3 inches, and you'll get them upwards to 7.5 inches in length. So people are like, there's no way a bass is going to grab that. But if you think about it, the hook is in the rear. Bass is coming in. They're aiming for the head. But with the momentum, that hook is getting set almost immediately. And it's not only that, the blade acts as if it's a hurt bait fish on top of the water.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of why I picked the perfect pond in the morning at least. I'm excited to throw some buzzbaits more. You guys need to watch the video, but I caught my first 2 fish ever on a buzzbait. And if it wasn't for doing the box slam, I may have never thrown that bait.
Right, and that's kind of what the box is about. Not only is it bringing you guys awareness of small businesses and high quality tackle and different things, unlike the oversaturated market of fishing, but it also gives you new techniques, new baits to try. Like, there's a lot of people out there that haven't tried whopper ploppers because they can't afford them. If you go to Bass Pro Shops, you can go to Walmart and get an Ozark Trail whopper plopper, but how long is it going to last you? But
oh man, and quality wise, Active Catch nailed it. That paint job was money. The blank he was using had perfect rotation and weight to it. I think that bait, if you guys watch it was second cast, and it was not just the back hook. I mean, this fish had all the hooks in its mouth.
Right, and the whopper plopper just gives a different feel. So a lot of people will work them like a popper. You cast the popper out, let it sit for a second, then you start your popping action. That's actually how I caught a fish on the active catch popper. I cast it out. I let it sit. I felt my phone vibrate. I took my phone out nonchalantly and pulled my phone out, and this bass came flying out of the water, took the popper, and was just shaking his head. He basically hooked himself, and I didn't even have to move the popper. But I do that with my whopper floppers. I'll throw it out, let it sit. Nothing strikes it. Then I start to retrieve. I do a straight retrieve all the way back, and they annihilate a whopper flopper here. I don't know how they're doing it in your area, John, but in New York, they annihilate whopper floppers. Anywhere from May to now.
If I decided to have taken the boat out, I probably could have gotten to some better spots with the whopper flopper. Or if I went back to the lake that I went to in the morning, I probably would have gotten all the baits done. I didn't feel like driving as far, and going back to that lake, I was like, oh, let's mix it up. Let's go somewhere different. Plus, I was trying to see if I could get a pike, but unfortunately, it was just a little too warm even in the evening. If I would have gotten out in the first thing in the morning on the boat, I probably would have gotten a pike on the top water, but more of a challenge. Like I said, I didn't want to necessarily go back to where I knew I'd get bit. I wanted to go back and see where I could get bit.
Right.
But
a misconception too is that you have to work the coast or the bank with a whopper flopper, but that's a misconception. That's a misconception with any top water bait. You could throw those suckers right out in the middle. If you're working it in a realistic action, you're gonna get bit. You don't have to work the bank every time you fish a top water.
No, and actually what was doing really well at the lake I knew I'd get a bite is there is a submerged island, which you guys watch. If you watch the video, you'll see there's a submerged island that was actually out ahead of where I was casting. So I was bringing it past the island, just over the top of the island, and the fish were hitting it just before or after the island. So, like you said, you don't have to necessarily work a bank. If you know where those islands are, those drop-off points, if you know where a lot of bait fish kind of congregate, bringing it right over those bait fish, boom, you'll get smoked. But
right.
Other than that, it was a fun weekend. Got a lot of fishing in. Jeremy and I are prepping. We got the last tourney Wednesday tomorrow. I think we got a chance to be maybe 5th overall if we can score decent at this last tournament. So not too shabby for especially Jeremy's first time ever fishing tournaments with me. And this is it's technically my 3rd season, but my real 2nd season of taking it serious. So to finish top 5 out of, I think there was 28 boats total in the season, we'll take it.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good.
We got a check in 1. Obviously, we still got a chance to get another check, but we got a paycheck at 1. And I think, we really didn't do horrible. I mean, we now know where we could capitalize better, but it seems like each term we've gotten better. So
right, and that's what happened. And as the years go by, if you do it next year, the year after that, you're just going to get better and better. And hopefully, Hendrix Fishing has some new baits to offer you also, so you can try new things.
Hey, they've been working though.
Right,
they've been working.
Yeah, you guys are killing it on the Predators. I know Jeremy was throwing some of his crankbaits that he makes. You were using the Frog. What other stuff have you been using?
Dude, it's been... So let's see. So the Predator is always on the boat. We've texted it, we drop shot it. Baits just from the box in general. Let's be honest. What saved us last week was the drop shot bait from Bad Fish Baits in the black and blue. That caught the close to 3-pounder. And if we didn't have that bait, we probably wouldn't have found that guy because it was really weird. They were on a super finesse bite. But in terms of just Hendrix baits, yeah, the Frog, the Predator, the stick bait, the chatter bait, the whipping swimmer. I mean, I don't think there's a Hendrix bait. Okay, I haven't used the chunk. I think that's the only thing I haven't used in tournament from the Hendrix lineup. But everything else in the Hendrix lineup has caught a fish in tournament.
The chunk is mainly a trailer bait, so that's understandable. It could be a good drop shot bait. That could be something worth drop shotting, John. But as where it comes from the chunk, I don't think we have enough colors available in this bait. And I think we're going to work on getting more colors out. That way you guys have more color options for trailers, for spinner baits. I like to run it on a spinner bait, chatter bait, drop shot, like I just mentioned. You could use it on a drop shot. I don't drop shot that much. if I do drop shot, I usually drop shot larger worms.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, I mean, it has been a fun season. We've enjoyed it, but I at the same time am kind of excited for it to be done with, so I can get back to, like, I've enjoyed it, but get back to just non-pressure fishing of just, hey, let's go to this lake and let's just fish it for fun kind of thing.
yeah, let's go catch a pike. Where
Yeah, you know, to where if we're just going out and just catching a fish, I'm not stressing over, oh my God, is that a 1 pounder, 2 pounder, 3 pounder? You know, we got to get a fish. What's going on? Come on, what are we doing? You know, being able to just go out, relax, and fish a lake just for the fun of it instead of sitting there trying to break it down meticulously, trying to figure out, okay, what bait's gonna work? Do we go here? Do we not go here? You know, stuff like that. Because, man, you get doing that for too long, and it burns you out after a while. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still excited. I'm still ready to go, but I am ready to finally have that break of.
you kind of lose the fun in it.
Well, the fun's still there, but I'm ready just to be able to sit back and take a breath. And if I'm sitting there chilling on the boat, not freaking out, why don't I have a line in the water?
Right.
But other than that, I mean,
Yeah,
I've enjoyed
like
it.
if you get too hot, sit down, relax, take a drink.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'll be honest, I don't know how those pro guys do it, because they are constantly, every week, they're traveling, they're breaking down lakes, they're studying stuff, they're always doing it, and they don't get as many breaks, if not long enough breaks. I mean, I don't get how they do it. I mean, I'd love to be at that point. I'd love to be able to sit down and be able to complain that
You don't realize
fishing.
it, but you have to be an athlete. You have to be an athlete to do it. You have to stand on your feet. You have to be able to hold your balance on the water. You have to be conditioned because you are moving. Your upper body is constantly moving. I don't know if anybody in the chat, when you go fishing all day, does your body get tired, achy? I know with me, my hands start to get almost like contracted where I'm holding the bait caster all day. I'm casting. And I can't, by the end of the day, I can't like open my hand all the way.
Oh man, my back muscles are intense after the season.
Yeah.
But no, it's been fun. It's been real. But yeah, I guess that's everything that's been going on with us. So, like I said, last week you missed a fun episode, but this week I figured let's poke and prod. There's been a lot of new stuff popping up lately, especially even on the Instagrams and the YouTubes, in the fishing market. And, you know, I'm just going to flat out say it. I think everybody's becoming the same.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think a lot of, like, everybody is kind of going the same direction. One person sees someone else do something and then they have to do it. And everyone thinks that they're going to make money in the same boat as everyone else, but it doesn't really work like that.
Well, and I'll kind of point out what exactly I mean by that, because if I just leave it, we're all becoming the same. That's generic. That'd put you in the same kind of bundle there, saying Hendrix Fishing is becoming the same, which you are, but you aren't. You're doing the box,
right?
But you definitely have a box that is different. There's nobody. I mean, there's maybe one other, but nobody else that does it as consistently and as well put together with custom bait makers.
Yeah, and that's what makes us different. That's what makes us not the same, is we're doing different stuff that you guys may have not have seen before. Yes, you may have seen a buzzbait, but have you seen an active catch buzzbait?
Yep.
May have seen a whopper plopper, but have you seen a custom painted sexy shad whopper plopper that has a blue metallic back and all these different features that you may have not have seen?
Now, I'm going to call out some companies. I'm not going to call them out necessarily in a bad way. I'm just going to call them out because they're the ones that are making noise. And, well, you know what? Sometimes making noise is a good thing, though. So I'll be curious to see what some guys in the chat and anybody listening after this, A, make sure you're subscribed because I still got that big box of baits that's going to be given away. But B, drop a comment. I'll be curious to see your guys' thoughts. First company, for example, Guggen. People love them. People hate them. There's some people that are in between.
So I'm going to give my input on it. I understand why people hate them because they are successful. And let's just be honest. People hate when someone is doing something and they're successful at it. They're great at what they do with the YouTubes and the content and the baits, the bright green color. Believe me, this was not off of them. I'm not trying to copy them with the green. The green was my idea from the get-go. I've always loved bright lime green, but it's just an attractive company. It's entertainment, cool stuff. In a way, it is custom stuff because the guys are sitting down and they might be looking at other baits and making similar things. But those guys sit down and they spend hours designing those baits and coming up with new ideas and names and all of that, testing.
Okay, and you know, that's where I was going to give them props. Is I was going to say, so something that so back in the past, I was definitely a hater on them. It felt like they were just pumping stuff out just to get your dollar. The baits were trash. I mean, they're great design, but they'd fall apart instantly. And
they don't last.
They will be the first to admit that their first generation of, like, for example, their number one seller, the Bandito bug, which is a fantastic bait. I'm not going to say it's not. It is a great bait. I mean, they have video proof it's caught in some big fish, but they'll be the first to admit it did not last. It was such a very soft, destructible plastic. So they very recently have corrected it. They have gotten back to getting to the drawing board themselves versus having a production team behind them creating these baits. They're now more in hands-on, so I'm hoping that their quality gets better now that they're hands-on. But they are now diving into a whole new world. So obviously they partner with Bass Mafia. They don't just do baits. Now they have the, you know, how you can store your baits, bags, containers. Okay, that's fair. You're trying to compete with the big names. Then they launched their Guggen rods. And the very first generation of Guggen Green and Guggen Gold rods, I've heard good things, but I've also seen that they do tend to break very easy. Not saying that other rods don't break. They do. I've broken a couple. But it's not because of easy, whimsical things. Now they're coming out with a Guggen Elite. That's supposed to be, or Guggen Black, or whatever they're calling it. Guggen Black, I think is what it is. It's going to be in the 200 plus price point. So it's not meant to be the everybody's rod. Now, supposedly, the guys have been sitting more on it. They're trying to work on it. They're also coming out with reels in a gold and a green series, so an affordable series and an expensive series. So it almost feels like, you know, they're trying to become a bigger brand. But since they started getting in the rod and reel market, Lose, a big rod and reel company, huge. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of Lose. I love them. They, under their Mock Nation brand, which is still Lose, is now coming out with baits.
I didn't know that.
So it's kind of funny seeing how, like, oh, you know, we'll leave you alone. We'll leave you alone. You're doing your thing. Oh, now you're in the rod and reel market.
Because now they have to compete now.
Yep. Now, I mean, how many more rod and reel brands are you going to need? I mean, I feel like that segment's already saturated, but good for them. The other company I was going to point out, though, just yesterday, or was it this morning? Yesterday, Monster Bass goes live. They are dropping their own rod series, doing very similar things on the rods. For example, they're doing a series. You got like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 6. Like Guggen has their, which I'll give it. I love that they did this on their rods. I think that was a phenomenal idea. Where Guggen has like their Twitch series, their muscle. It literally tells you, if you're new to fishing, you know exactly what that rod's for. And it's, you know, obviously if you know stuff about fishing, you're going to look at that and not care because you know that I'm going to use a 7-foot whatever for this technique. But obviously what they did was great. But Monster Bass is doing the same thing. Their color scheme, everybody seems to be going with the black rod now. Just saying. And carbon fiber accents. Weird. It's just like the one from Guggen, which they say they're trying not to be.
Well,
they also, if you look at it, Monster Bass has been coming out with their own baits too, correct? So I'm not knocking them for coming out with their own baits, but it just feels like it's going tick for tack. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I bet you would love to be able to say, hey guys, we're coming out with the Hendrix series rods.
Oh yeah,
But here's
it's just not.
well, here's the thing though.
I can't focus.
If you were coming out with a Hendrix rod, would you be mass producing this thing in China from the same company everybody else is getting their rods from, or is this going to be
That would
someone that hand makes them
exactly.
here?
I would have to go to somebody, say, "Hey, where do you get your rods from?" Which is what these other companies do, because I've had companies come to me and say, "Hey, where do you get your tungsten from? Hey, where do you get this from?" Um, that's what I would have to do. And I would have to contact other companies, get their opinion. It would be a pricing matter because you have to know what your profit's going to be. The quality matter. Probably say Monster Bass sends out these rods. I get a bunch of good reviews, things like that. Then I contact them and say, "Hey, where do you get your rods made?" Guess mine would be different. They'll have different, things in them that make them different than others, but it's still going to be the same rod. It's going to be made by the same manufacturer.
And that's if you want to compete at the price point. Obviously, with you
Right.
being more about the small business American man, we could get a hold of an American brand rod maker. I know plenty. They're all over Instagram. They do great rod work, but it'd be expensive.
You guys would be paying $600 a rod.
Well, on the cheap end, you're going to be $250. That's on the cheap end.
Yeah, I'd be $250.
Yeah.
Then not have to sell it to you guys.
So, I mean, I get it there, but it just makes me laugh when they're all talking about, oh, we got this. It's way better than so-and-so's. It's going to be the number one. It's all really the same thing now. It's just which brand do you want to throw on it, which label. I mean, the only reason I would say a rod would be different is I will give it to the Shimano's, your Lew's company. Now what I'm finding out is the lower end Lew's is basically the same blank that all these guys are now using. So I'm talking your higher end stuff. I know you use Favorite, and the Googans used to use Favorite. And if you look at the same rod components, it's really interesting. Just putting that out there.
Yep.
A lot of the design technique, they left Favorite but copied their stuff. And
my biggest thing with Favorite too is at the beginning they were pushing the American stuff, but it's really a misconception because everything's made in China.
Yep. Yep.
So it kind of fools you into thinking, the American hero.
And I'm looking over to my rod repertoire right now. I'll be the first man. I throw loose. I have thrown lower end loose all the way up to I now run their signature series. Which when you get to that upper price point in rods, I will tell you it doesn't matter the brand. They should be the quality that I'm talking about. They should be the sensitivity, the strength, the style. If they're not, I don't know what you're doing. I know we were talking when we were talking about the iCast stuff a couple weeks ago. St. Croix. I mean, there's a big name. You spend that kind of money.
I've heard a lot of stuff about them. I've never used a St. Croix.
But
I was going to go back real quick to what you were saying about the different rods you use. I've been using Proficiency. And Proficiency rods are super durable. I give them a lot of credit. I'm not sure where I might have one in my truck that I can go grab, but the Proficiency rods.
I'm just curious. What kind of blank is it though? What do they say it's made out of?
I'm not sure. I have to look, but I think I have a 7.3 medium heavy. I drove my boat into the dock with this pole hanging off the side of the boat, and it literally bent in half and did not snap. So if anybody in this chat wants a good durable rod, I highly recommend a Proficiency rod. I'm gonna go grab it right now.
Well, he's grabbing that guy. So what I was pointing out is these guys are talking about the blanks themselves. I'm holding right now a Lew's custom black rod right up right now. This is a B21. So I believe that's the weight, the strength, whatever you want to call it, of the rod itself. I believe Montreal says they're going to be using, everybody else uses 20 to 30. We're using straight 30. That's great. Here's the thing. Depending on the style of fishing, you don't always want a 30 series rod because it's almost too much. There's a reason why some of these are 20 blanks. I mean, just the weight itself too. But I'll be curious. I'm kind of looking at the chat.
So,
he's back.
There's stuff going. I don't have the Proficiency with me. I do have my favorite rod though.
Okay, so real quick, is it a bait caster?
Bait caster.
Perfect.
Yep.
So when you're looking at the stuff, so I was telling them I'm holding my Lew's up. Obviously, it tells me the model it is. It's a 7-foot power
Right.
medium. Mine's a moderate fast on this one. Then there's a little stamp that says like B21. Is there like a little stamp, something like that has like a letter and a number?
I have the serial number. There are no stamps with letters and numbers.
Okay, because what I was explaining is like, for example, like B21 is the blank weight, or I believe it's the strength, like the strand type they use in here. And
This is definitely
I was just pointing out.
a carbon.
Okay, I was just pointing out like how this is a 21, where Guggen, for example, on their live yesterday was trying to say, or not Guggen, Monster House was saying, you know, everybody uses 20 to 30, which is true. We're going to use straight 30. We're going to give you the best of the best. I don't agree with that comment though.
That doesn't make it the best. That makes it.
Well, and here's the thing.
Doesn't it make it stiffer?
Yes.
That would make it a stiffer rod, and you don't always want a stiff rod.
I mean, you're still going to have your medium heavies, your flexes, you know, all that. It's going to bend still, but you lose sensitivity.
Right.
You don't want a B30 on your finesse spinning rod.
It kind of sounds like they're using the number 30 when you look at the 19 to 30 range. 30 sounds like it's the best because it's a higher number.
It is. It's a tighter weave. There's more to it. I mean, it does make it stronger, but
Doesn't make it better.
I don't think it makes it better. I mean, you look at some of those higher end Japanese rods. Let's talk that. You want to talk quality? You want to talk quality? Let's look at the higher end Japanese. Let's talk those big expensive Mega Bass rods, which everybody would wish they had.
I believe 13 Fishing would be Japanese.
Technically, but I'm talking high end Japanese. Let's talk high end Japanese rods. And everybody's like, you know, the ones that you look at and go, dang, that thing looks sexy just sitting still. Those, not even those, are all at the 30.
Right.
So it's funny how every company finds something small and throws on it. But here's the thing. So what kind of guides are on your favorite rod? You know the brand?
I do not. But
They're a Fuji.
I could go.
I'll tell you right now, they're a Fuji guide. You know what's on my Lose?
I do like
They're-
these guys.
I have a Fuji guide. Now here's the thing. There's different levels of Fuji guides. So yes, maybe they're using one of the higher end ones. Maybe they're using, you know, instead of the steel inserted, they're using a carbon inserted, you know, whatever. But everybody's using the same parts. Everybody's using the same style. I'm waiting for, you know, if they wanted to be different, I get it. Yeah, come on, right, but do something different.
Oh, wait, this is a, so this is a 24.
Okay, so there we go. Now
24
what action do you have?
medium heavy.
Okay, so it's a heavier rod. So I'm rocking a medium, moderate fast.
Gotcha.
So right there, different technique. Because what are you throwing on that guy? What's on that right now?
Oh, I mean, I use this. This is my chatterbait.
So you definitely want a stronger rod.
Right.
Okay.
Chatterbait.
What I just
Crankbait.
said, jerkbait rod.
Gotcha.
Or what I will give the Guggens, they call it their Twitch series.
Designed for twitching. Jerkbaits.
I'll give him that. The ruler's gimmicky. It definitely draws in the younger crowd because let's be honest, I'll love to see the comments. Love to see the hand raises in chat. Who honestly uses a ruler if it was on their rod?
Who uses a ruler ever? I have rulers. There's
The people
rulers
I know
on-
that use the rulers are guys like myself that carry one on the boat. They carry a bump board, and because we're like when I catch pike, I'm really curious about more of the length,
girth.
girth, everything like that. But I'm more worried about the weight. I'd rather make sure I have a scale on board, which we'll get there in a sec. Don't worry. Scale wise, I've got a fun conversation for that one. We'll get there. But you know, the ruler's gimmicky. But man, them sitting down, going over, even they got some of their pros that their pros, the guys that are on the MFL series, the guys that are on the Bass Pro series, and sat down. Okay, when you get this kind of rod, what do you throw? And man, I'll give it to them. When they designed having, here's your twitch, your muscle, your finesse, your go-to is what they call it. Your cranking. That's the smartest thing ever because now they tied it to their products.
Right.
So when you buy a Bandito bug, it says right there in the package, if you're going to throw this, hey, recommend this rod, do all that.
It's I'm gonna tell you. Well, Guggen being involved with Ketco will make their marketing and their selling points 1,000 times better, because that's what that company does. They basically invest/buy smaller companies that are up and coming, and they turn them into monsters like Guggen. That's how Guggen.
I'll give it to them though, because they were the first to do it on their Gold and Green series. Now everybody's doing it. For example, Luz doesn't really call it Twitch or anything, but I have the Signature series now. And guess what? The Signature series breaks it out. You want a jig rod? Here's your jig rod. You want a topwater rod? Here's your topwater rod. You want a chatterbait, a square bill? Boom, boom, boom. So it seems like they did it. Now everybody else is doing it.
Like, one second. Lyndon, you're in the comments here. What is that combo that you just picked up that you and I have been talking about? The one that we've been saying we were going to get. What is that one called? Luz is doing a combo where with every purchase, I believe $2 is going towards Army veterans.
The American Hero.
It's American Hero, but it's a different version. Luz American Hero, but it's the newer version. That rod looks absolutely sick. I don't know if you can bring it up quick.
I don't have a way to bring it up, but
that's fine. But let me
but
see if I can type it up and aim the computer at the screen here.
Now, I will admit though, that kind of stuff doesn't bug me. That kind of stuff's fun. I wish more companies would do. I kind of miss those special editions, especially when they're giving back. Because that combo is a solid all-around combo. It's nothing special. I mean, it's not like you're getting Crowdo DC paired with something amazing. But yeah, it's camo, which who doesn't like camo?
To me, it's a nice rod combo, decent price. I think it's $215 or something like that.
I don't think it was that bad, actually.
Let me look it up. Lyndon sent me it. I gotta find it.
But
my biggest thing with it is, it kind of sounds like they're taking advantage of we're representing veterans. Every $2 of this rod sold, $2 is going towards veterans. You're selling a $200 rod and you're giving $2 towards veterans.
So it is $119.99 for the baitcaster, if I'm looking at the right one.
Let me see.
If I'm looking at the right one.
What is it? $119?
$119 for the baitcaster.
That kind of sounds.
Unless realistic. It's like a second gen thing, which I'm not aware. I know that they dropped a lot of new stuff at ICAST, so let me just double check here.
All right, I don't have.
But okay, so you're more talking about the gimmick side of it in terms of you feel like they're playing at the heartstrings of the people, and I mean, let's be honest. If I could support, veterans by fishing gear, most definitely. But I get what you're saying. The fact that they're only doing $2 is a little ridiculous.
I understand they're going to sell thousands of rods because they're a big company, but $2 out of you're selling a rod for $119, and let's be real, you're probably paying somewhere around $10 to have it manufactured. So that bugs me a little bit. I feel like it pulls at the heartstrings and it kind of takes advantage of the situation.
Okay, and
it is a beautiful combo.
Did launch. Let me pull it up here. So they did launch an American Hero program for the it's a new version. Let me see what these rounds. Let me see what they donate here. Maybe they've changed it because, like I said, they did redo stuff for the 2023 season here. Let me view the products.
The old one was like a
digital camo. Yep.
Yeah. This one's more of a moss camo.
Yep. And it looks like you can't get it necessarily as a combo. You have to get. Oh wait, no, the moss camo is the old one, by the way. So it's the new tier 1 is what they call it, but that's not even out yet.
Oh.
So
we saw
the one he got for $119 is the last generation, but the new generation is a separate rod and reel that you buy, and they call it the American Hero Tier 1 series rods and the American Hero Tier 1 baitcaster. But it is the same thing. They're only donating a couple bucks.
It's the same. It's the same rod. They just changed the color.
Let's take a look here. So let's see. What are the specs on that rod that you're talking?
I can't even.
Because I got the tier 1 here. It's a tour grade graphite construction. The backbone American Hero tier 1 certified rods is a loose premium hide modular graphite blank, EVA split grip. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
I mean, I appreciate them trying, but yeah, like only a couple dollars. Ugh. I know there's more markup in these things. Come on, it can't be that. It can't be that close of margin.
Sell the rod and reel for a little bit more. Give more towards the veterans.
Yeah. That, or I think if you are a veteran and you can prove it, you should be able to get the rod and reel exceptionally cheaper. You want to help out.
Exactly.
Help get a veteran on the water.
Help them with their stress and anxiety caused by their service.
Yeah. No, I'm all for that. I'd rather you see them discount it for a veteran a bunch.
I mean, even myself, we're a small business. We can afford to give very little. We give 15%. I want to do math real quick.
This might be a wall, guys. He's trying to do math. While he's doing math, guys, if you're currently in the live, get your friends, get your family in here. Let's chat about this.
If you spent $119 on a reel, right, from me, and I gave you 15% off.
Yep.
How the heck am I doing this point?
We'll call it 120. Make it easy. 10% is $12. So
there you
you're
go.
$18
So
for 15%.
They're donating $2 for every $119 rod sold. That's not even 15%. That's not even 10%.
It's not even 10%.
That's not even 5%, honestly.
Yep.
So now that I brought that up.
Yep. So I mean that's all. I feel like everybody in the fishing market is just doing the exact same. I don't mind if you want to come out with rods, but it's the same looking rod, the same exact price point. I mean, the only difference is one rod says this company, the other rod says that company. One is green, one is orange.
It's like I made some questionable decisions when bringing back the frogs. Okay, our original frogs were very much like. When you look at this, it looks a lot like what brand? Lunker Hunt. Looks a lot like it. It's hard to get a green frog to look any different.
It is.
But
I mean, who's got a frog like this though?
We also went above and beyond to design this, the Magma frog. We designed the Joplin frog. Okay. Nuclear frog. There's not many that look like this. Even our Midnight Potion. There's not many that look like this with a cross style skirting on it. I haven't seen one yet. The Mad Ratter, okay. To me, this was my own idea. I painted crankbaits that look exactly like this, and I decided to make a frog like it. So that was my own custom design. Those of you that might have the crankbait could vouch for me in your comments and let me know if you have one of the Mad Ratter cranks. The Midas, very different, okay? There's companies out there like myself that are small businesses and they're trying to get into the frog game. Fat Bastard Frogs, that's a great company. They have a lot of stuff that it's just, if you go on Alibaba or eBay or anything like that and you look up hollow body frogs, you could probably get 10, 20 frogs with that flame design that Monster Bass pushed for $5, $10 for cheap. They're not, there's nothing different about them. They're not unique in any way. They're just mass produced.
Well, and I mean,
but
I don't know.
Everybody's trying to do the same thing. Well,
and it's the exact same thing that kills me because we talk about all the time on the show, and on just in general is, look, it's hard to have an original idea in the fishing world. For example, shout out to Stoneman Lures. Let's see him in chat. Go check him out. He does custom bait painting. Here's the thing. Yes, he uses the same blank, but his color schemes his style, it is definitely. If you laid a bait of his out and a couple other guys, I bet I could differentiate it. If you put active catch, who was in the last box, next to a stowman bait, guess what? The bait may be the same. Because yes, it's hard to find different materials. I get it. But I bet you they're both not going to paint a bluegill the same.
Last week's guest, Bass Grenade. Have you seen a Senko like this?
So, not exactly. He adds his own flair. There are some bigger companies out there that have something similar. Different style, though. It's, they do a different way of doing that, but yes.
Or creature bait.
Not as crazy. I mean, yes, there's creature baits everywhere, but not as crazy.
I mean, he even went beyond and added these ridges for, this is his design. He didn't just say, hey, I'm going to take that design and add a freaking testicle to it. That's what it seems like. Sometimes they're just like, let's put some balls on the end of it and call it a day. And we have our bait. I mean, a lot of it for our businesses, the small business, the color schemes. My brother, I think I talked about this before. I turned around and I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? And he's mixing up this paint. He's like, I'm making a color. I'm like, well, don't waste it. And he throws it in the pot and he shoots this beautiful rusty heat color. That is an example of custom. That is an example of different. I haven't seen very many orange baits like this with holographic and red flake. Yes, watermelon blue is oversaturated and made all over the place. But does everybody use large blue flake and as much blue flake or as translucent as ours? If you're going to copy each other, you got to do something different. You got to make it unique in your own way. I mean, anyone can make a Senko. You can go on Do It Molds and make a Senko. This isn't a Do It mold because those molds are not quality. You don't get a nice glossy finish with them, but anybody can make a Senko. You can go buy a gallon of Plastisol for $39. You can grab an injector off Amazon for $20 and a mold for $50 and go and shoot a Senko. But does everybody do it the same? No.
Not in our world, but unfortunately in the big box world, it seems like everybody is doing the exact same. The exact same. And is it going to be a great rod series? Probably. Good for them. It's probably going to work out fine. The rods are probably going to be decent quality. I'm not saying that the rods are going to be bad. So before anybody gets out there and go, oh, they were blowing you guys up saying that your guys' stuff's going to be total garbage, blah, blah. No. I want everybody in the chat to know. I'm not saying that, for example, the Monster Bass rods are going to be horrible. I'm not saying that the Guggen rods are going to be horrible. Their stuff was bad in the start, but they're now starting to take their product control in their own hands again, which I think is the best thing they could ever done for the company is the Guggens themselves actually getting back to getting their hands on the product. Because I feel like when they weren't, their stuff suffered. But
I'll vouch for John myself. I could call Rick right now and ask him, hey, what are these rods that I'm hearing about? Can I get one? And he'll talk to me about it. He'll let me know, and I'll get information on it. But the biggest thing is, I know Rick is not going to sell garbage.
No, he is like us. He is. If it's not quality, he will pull it.
He will pull it. If it's not quality, he's getting used. He will squash it, or he will work until he comes out with the proper.
The only thing I'm giving him a hard time for is I feel as much crap as he gives the other competitors, which Guggen's one of his competitors, Mystery Tackle Box, for example. He's following right in suit. Is what it seems like. Now, will his stuff right from the start probably be higher quality? Yes, I will give him that. Because the one thing he was doing already is he was on the live showing the guys the pre-production models and straight up asking the customers right in their faces, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not? What should we change? Do you feel like we need to change anything? And already he's going from the split EVA grips to cork. So I will give him props for that. Is once again, I'm not saying their stuff's going to be horrible. Their stuff's probably going to be just fine.
Cork sells. I do like a good cork rod. I mean, even this favorite rod here, the handle's cork. It's a cool like camouflage stained cork. Very different.
Well, like I said, the rods are going to be great. I have to laugh how everybody seems to be following suit all at the same time. I mean, the timing is impeccable. Like, oh, really? Now you're coming out with this rod just as soon as your competitor is about to drop one of their rods.
Really what it comes down to is competition. I'm not going to say any names, but the same thing happens in my boat. One person does something and you got to one-up them. It's just how it works. And in the past, I've had situations with, no names, but these ended up in both, and that's a very frustrating situation. Because you're trying to compete with these guys, and not everybody understands that.
Yep.
And Monster Bass is constantly in competition because when it comes down to it, I look at all the other boxes, even myself, Monster Bass is the best box out there. If you're looking for your typical fishing lures, good quality, and best bang for buck, it's Monster Bass. If you're looking for custom, high quality lures, then you're probably looking at us.
And I'll point.
If you're looking,
I was gonna point out Blind Eye Fishing. He brought up a good point. I think, is it him? There's one of the guys in Pro Staff that got one of the rods and admitted that the rod actually wasn't so. Like I said, I ain't saying that the Guggen rods are bad. All I'm saying is it's the style and the timing. That's all. I feel like everybody's stuff is starting to look the same, have the same components, to where pretty soon it's not going to matter which rod you get. It's just going to be which color and which brand do you want stamped on it.
right. And like, yeah, maybe we should look into getting. We'll contact a rod maker.
That's fine.
And
but
we'll do like 5 to 10 custom Hendrix
we're not
rods.
doing green and black because everybody has a green and black. Lose, Guggen,
Purple and green.
and actually, what I have learned, and this is something that I did not know, but this is where I have to give your boy Rick props over at Monster Bass. He's done the research. Do you know that adding color to the rod actually makes it less sensitive?
Really? Well, yeah, because you're wrapping. What you're doing is you're wrapping rope. Well,
Fiber.
I don't want to say
It's not rope. You're wrapping.
string.
Well, it's fiber.
Like a fiberglass string.
Well, it's not even string. It's straight fiberglass. It's sheets of fiberglass that they're wrapping it in. The more sheets you have, the less sensitive.
Are you talking about this?
Not right by the eyelets. I'm talking
Or
about the
you talking
whole
about the
rod
rod?
itself.
Right. And it adds money too. That's why a lot of them are staying black, because it adds the cost. When it comes to the strings, even the strings, that stuff could add to it too. Like there's a lot of C rods that I've seen that have all the ropes and the cool designs, but all that adds to the it takes away from the sensitivity of the rod, because it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's like a restraint, wrapping a rope around something. What are you doing there, buddy?
Man, I'm just having the worst time. That's why I had to mute my mic.
You're getting mad at
I'm
it?
about to throw the microphone, guys. If you're watching live, you're seeing me struggle right now.
What's going on? The stand's not working?
I need a better mic stand.
I need a mic. Send me that one and then get a new one.
The mic I'm not sending you. The mic's too good.
John's over here wrestling his mic like he's got a snake in his garage. Other than fishing rods, guys, what is one bait that you guys could say is oversaturated and you can find pretty much everywhere, other than the Senko? Because we all know you can find a Senko or stickworm, because you can't say Senko. anywhere. You can't say it because it's it's Yamamoto's name or whatever.
So
But
I'm gonna say it.
What's a bait?
And it's even starting to become saturated even in our market as custom bait makers. Chatterbaits. I said it.
Yeah.
I feel like it used to only be Z-Man.
Well, thing is, a chatterbait is a chatterbait.
Sorry. Bladed
Bladed
jig. It's the same
bladed jigs
stuff,
are-
basically. It's how it connects.
Anyone can make a bladed jig. I know Adam dabbles in making stuff. He's actually about to tie some buzz baits, I believe. I can make a bladed jig. All it takes is a split ring and a blade on a jig. Now we have what? Berkeley, the one that made slob.
Berkeley has a slob knocker. You've got
It's all
you got
the same.
Z-Man. You've got who has? Why am I blanking on the brand now? This is horrible. Strike King.
There's you could get a blade jig.
You know
anyways.
what though? That's unfortunately as much we give these other. We were talking about those other companies. You know whose bladed jig is actually different?
One cast because it's weedless.
Well, yes, that's a custom one, but no, Guggen's.
Guggen's. Yeah, well, it is. I don't like it. It does not work properly.
I'm not saying whether it works or not works. That's up to the guy that fishes it. But in terms of truly taking a bladed jig and making it their own, they accomplished it.
Yeah, they made it their
because
own.
that is the only one I look at and go, oh, that's different.
Right.
Where the rest is like, oh, it's all kind of similar, but it just depends on how you actually connected it at the end of the day.
There's a lot of there's
the other thing I'm gonna get it out there and seeing as we have some of the custom bait painters in our chat right now, like Stoneman Lures, square bills. I swear every big name.
Stop using the same square bill one.
I swear every big name is the same square. When are we gonna get a different square bill?
I mean, other than Active Catch's salted crankbaits, I have not seen anything different. And even his salted crankbaits, it's the same exact.
I'm saying when you get to the core itself, it's the same weights, it's the same transfer system, the same rattle system. I'd love to see Stoneman or somebody.
I think Stoneman I was talking to him and he was going to make a custom. He was working on making a custom blank. I don't know if he wanted me to leak that, but Stoneman, I think the pressure's on you being such a good artist.
I see Stoneman. I hate calling him out, but I see him in the chat. I wish Jeremy was in this too. I know him and I have talked about Real Custom Art. We've talked about it. I mean, I swear everybody, if you take the blanks, and there has been YouTube videos, there's been guys that have grabbed 6 cents blanks. There's guys that grab Guggen blanks. They've cut them open. And when you cut them open, oh my God, they look exactly the same. Now,
I don't have a crankbait.
I will say it's because that form of square bill works. It rattles properly. It deflects right. The bill's perfect. It swims the right way. But that is kind of what draws me into guys like Marlon Bates, because he's sitting there carving stuff out of the wood. It's different. It's unique. He takes a square bill and it doesn't look like a standard 1.5 or 2 inch square bill.
I would like to see some more balsam based crankbaits like the old days.
Yeah, what happened to that? I swear there used to be wood balsa blanks all over the place.
You can buy them. They're just expensive.
Well, but it used to be the norm. I remember going out fishing with the old man, and we'd open up a tag box, and boom, he'd have a jerkbait that was balsa. He'd have a couple crankbaits that were, and that was the norm.
I have them hanging here because they're pretty much antiques, and I have to repaint them. But there's a balsam wobbler.
Yep.
This is it doesn't even say what it is on it. I'm not even sure, but it's an old school. Like even the way the hooks sit in it are old school.
Okay, now this might be a good. We may have to get Stoneman on a live because he's talking about custom crank blanks, a new popper, and a glide bait. I have so many questions. First off, how the hell do you design a crankbait? Because they're like a plastic. I say like a plastic because I don't know the exact material.
Right.
So it's
a lot easier than people make it sound.
You're not pouring them. You don't pour a
you
crankbait.
You can pour a crankbait.
You pour crankbait.
They're resin.
They're resin. Okay. Ooh.
If you have the right molds and equipment, you could pour a crankbait.
Okay. See, I just don't know. That's why I said I got questions.
You could buy the bill inserts. You could do it all.
Okay.
I would like to have a crankbait, but with a tube. I probably shouldn't give my ideas out, but a tube in the middle that goes from the brain of the bait essentially to the rear end. So while it's shaking, that ball, the BB in the middle, is just essentially going back and forth, and it's making a louder clank. I feel like we don't get crankbaits with a loud enough, like a bang, like a clank.
There's a couple of them.
I haven't seen that with a tube.
So I don't know what the inside of it looks like, and I'm trying to look over. I don't have it next to me. I just got, so I do subscribe to the 6 Cent Sack. I love 6 Cents. They're probably one of my top favorite hard bait. That's a bigger company.
Here's a crankbait going in the box.
Ooh, guys, sneak peek.
This is the blank by Active Catch. It's a salted crankbait, but it's going in the October box. Not this pattern, a different pattern. This is your box that you picked out.
Yep.
But do you see the difference in it? The bill,
I
eye.
do. I mean, it's gonna give a different action. But you were talking about the knock noise. I was just saying, 6 Cents came out with it's still their 1.5. I'm curious to see somebody cut one open. I don't want to cut mine open because I only have one. But it is an extra loud knock, obnoxious rattle to it.
That's what I want, and I have a lipless. I don't remember where I got it from, but when that thing's in the water and you're retrieving it, you can hear it coming back to the boat. That's what I want. Yeah, That's what I want in a crankbait.
Oh, you brought up my October box, guys. So for guys and gals, and I gotta be careful what I say now because everybody's coming after me now for what I'm saying, but it's all good. October's box is going to be inspired by yours truly here, Part-Time Fisher. So make sure you guys get an OG box. And if you don't get an OG box, get a splash or get a pond hopper because that's going to be put together by our pro staff ambassador, Gavin, Bad Bass Gavster. So these boxes are going to be fire because him and I get out and we fish. So we're definitely tailoring these baits, these boxes exactly for October fishing. And Stillman's already called me out. He says, speaking of October, got any pattern ideas for me, John? Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I don't want to do the same pattern as what Active Catch did, and I don't want to give away. So I'm going to have to get with you.
Did I even send you it?
I don't think you sent it to me. You got to send it to me because I don't know I want to do something different.
If you see it, you're going to
If I remember correctly, Stillman's doing a jerkbait. Is that correct?
I believe that's what we
Stillman, is that what we agreed on? I'm trying to remember. Guys, you're getting a heads up of what's in the box.
Easy. No. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Active Catch is doing a jerkbait for us. I just don't remember what box.
Wait, Stillman's doing it? Wait, what's Stillman doing? I'm so confused now. See, this behind the scenes. When we put boxes together, we get confused.
Let me look it up.
Yes, sir. I'll do a couple.
You.
Okay. Yep. No, he's doing. Okay. So yes, he is doing a jerkbait. Okay.
When is Active Catch in the box with a jerkbait?
You have Active Catch in there for a jerkbait? I thought Active Catch was doing the salted crank on mine.
He is, but he's also doing a jerkbait. Oh.
Secrets. Oh boy. All right. Well,
I forgot about.
Well, guys, I'll let you guys decide. I'll have to talk to Stillman off because I don't want to give away too many secrets of the box. Just know you're getting a jerkbait from Stillman. Would you guys like? Let me know in the comments. Would you like to see one color, or would you like a couple colors, and the odds be in your favor what you get in the box? Also, what colors would you like? This will be what you're throwing in October. I like jerkbaits in October because you get that fall transition going. Water temps are variable. In a jerkbait, you can cover so many different water levels. I'm thinking more bait fish color. So, like a sunfish, a bluegill, a shad, but not like a pure white shad. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What would you guys like to see? What color would y'all like to see?
Stone Man, why don't you do something that we've never seen before?
Ooh, there we go. There we go. We're gonna leave it to him. Stoneman, you throw me colors.
That's blow our minds. Why don't you?
Fire Turtle says crappie, shad, bluegill, trout colors. I like those. We've had those colors in boxes before.
Hang on, I got an idea. How about, since Hendrix Fishing, we kind of roll with this Hendrix Fishing, Jimi Hendrix like psychedelic look. Why don't you give us something like a psychedelic crappie?
Stoneman already says.
So just imagine if you were staring.
Hold on, you challenged him. He already says, I got just the pattern I've been working on. Oh, done.
Boy.
Done. Let's not mess with him anymore.
You don't want the psychedelic crappie?
Nope.
I don't want a psychedelic crappie.
We can do that later, because here's the thing. What I've learned with Stoneman is when he gets something in his head, pattern-wise, design-wise, you let him run with it. Because it's either going to be super realistic or it's going to be so crazy it's just going to work.
Oh, I trust everything in him. His painting skills are immaculate.
That's what I love about it. So Active Catch I loved his box this month because his patterns he does a lot of splatter technique, which I loved. Then you got Stoneman, who's very realistic, very high detail. Then you've got guys like Real Custom Art, who is kind of in that middle. He takes stuff that you've seen before, like, okay, everybody's seen a bluegill crankbait, but he either adds that extra flair, that extra touch, just, it's like, ooh, yeah, I've seen, that looks just like so-and-so's square bill, but better.
Right.
I'll hook you up with a psycho crappie, Tyler. Ooh.
There you go, psycho crappie, psychedelic crappie. I just imagine guys, like rainbows and crappie skin.
This is why you need to get your Hendrix box. Get it ordered. So, Tyler, let them know when do they need to order box?
Pick up a 12-month bundle.
Well, you could
just pick up a 12-month bundle.
Well, if you don't pick up a bundle, you just want to go month to month, because I get it. Funds get rough around the holiday season. When do guys? Because we get a lot of questions asked about, hey, when am I getting my box? I placed the order. Explain how that works for the folks that maybe don't know. How does that work with the boxes?
All right. So today's August 23rd. So if you were to place an order today, you would not be getting the box next month. So you would get the October box if you place today. And if you placed by the 21st of any given month, so you have until the 21st of midnight
to get the following boxes, the following month's box, correct? Okay.
Right. So you have to place your order by August 21st
to get September.
To receive your box September.
And
10th,
if you want to get an October box, you have to order by September 21st to get an October.
September 21st, which you have the option of doing a 3-month bundle, 6-month bundle, and 12-month bundle as well, which will guarantee you that box.
And
we found out something, John. If you order through Shop Pay and say you order a 12-month bundle,
yep,
right? And your monthly payment will end up being less than if you were to subscribe to Hendrix Fishing.
Correct. You do a 12-month, a 6-month, a 3-month, and you use code PartTime10, you save more than if you do month to month or one box at a time.
Right. So if you were capable, if you finance a 12-month bundle through Shop Pay, you guarantee yourself a box for the next 12 months, but your monthly payment will be a small portion of what you normally would pay at the $39.99.
And what he's saying, guys, is if you don't have a credit card or use one of the funds, what Shop Pay is Shopify will finance it and split it into 4 or 5 easy payments that you can make. So you could get yourself a 12-month bundle and not have to worry about spending that $200 to $300 right up front. You're spending maybe 3 payments, so $100 a piece, 6 payments over like $50 a piece, whatever's comfortable for you. So there's options.
It breaks.
And I'm going to clear up. October, guys, may not be the worst time to maybe pick up an extra box. That may be the one time that if you are like myself and an OG subscriber, maybe pick up just a one-time purchase on a pond hopper, because they will be significantly different boxes. So
Right.
Provo in chat said, is Pete going to be just in the OG box? Yes. If you want a Stoneman
OG.
lure, you need to get the OG box. If you want a lure by Real Custom
art,
Art, you need to be in the pond hopper.
along with a bunch of good companies. Even you might even see myself in the pond hopper.
Yep.
box.
So there are going to be some companies that are only going to be in one or the other. So please, if this may be the one time I'm saying it, if you are only subscribed to one, it may be worth picking up that one-time purchase of the other, because
or all three, because I'm building the splash pack with whatever I feel.
So there you go. It may be the 1 month to get all three, because it will blow your mind. Plus, stay tuned. I got to figure out who I'm calling out for this next month, because, man, I'm salty that I lost. Trust me, guys. I'm going to get out there. We're going to kill it this next month. What do we kind of give me a taste? What I got looking forward to for my September box here?
Well, these folks are so kind and joined us here today and took the time out of their day to watch the Hendrix podcast with Part-Time Fisher, or however you want to say that, vice versa, because it is on Part-Time Fisher's YouTube. I'm gonna bring up the box list right now, and I'm gonna read some things off of it. I feel like it's the right time to do it.
And guys,
if you guys don't want to hear it, plug your ears.
How's this? Don't just drop some companies and style of baits. Don't give me colors. Don't give me too much deal. Just give me a brief. Give me a teaser.
Yeah. So first off, I want to say I'm sad to hear that Third Eye Fishing had sold the company to Z-Bait. Z-Bait now carries all of Third Eye Fishing. I'm sad that Max does not own the company anymore, but I do know that it is in good hands, and you will no longer see the Third Eye packaging. I believe everything is being sold under the Z-Bait name. He's a great guy. I think the company is going to do – Z-Bait is going to go a long ways selling the Third Eye stuff. But unfortunately, between that transaction, we were supposed to have Third Eye. Third Eye could not be in the box this month, so here I am. I'm in the box.
Uh-oh. You know what?
And
oh my God, you guys are
carrying a lure, a very famous lure of ours, #1 seller. So if you know, you know, with a pig's jig Ned. And it's a skirted Ned. It's not your typical
with
Ned.
Pig's jig. Interesting. Okay.
Then I'll give you guys a little sneak. There's a new company that I discovered, which for some reason I don't have him written on here, which is a problem. But it is a spinnerbait. I have to give the details on this one. It's a spinnerbait. So basically, it's a spinner,
so, guys,
with a blade.
It's like, if you've seen it, it's like a rooster tail or Meps.
Right. And it's got a EWG hook on it that swivels, which then I'm not going to tell you what color.
Oh, that's the tease. Because, guys, I got to test one out, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Different bait.
It's a different one.
I haven't even shown you this.
No. Oh.
You are going to be blown away by this. But you're going to see the Hendrix whipping swimmers paired with those.
Uh-oh.
And that bait is going to catch a lot of fish in the month of September.
All right.
It is something totally different you've never seen before, I swear. And if you have seen it, you may have not have used one. This gives you the opportunity to try it out.
I think that's enough of a tease. I'm excited for it. I'll be I'm sure. Let's not ruin it too much. It's already getting me excited.
Oh, got the wrong thing. Yeah, that's that box.
I'm excited. Yeah. Okay. So guys, I was looking at the comments before we wrap up. This might be something to Tyler and I talk about off camera and do, but who was it here? Who dropped it? I think Fire Turtle. Yes. Fire Turtle had a great idea. He says, hey, with the fact that October is going to be so different, how about we do a one-time ultimate mega box and include one bait from every bait maker? So that way you can get the ultimate subscription for that month. So that way you don't miss out on the pond hoppers baits. You don't miss on the OG. We'll figure that out. We'll see. I like that idea.
Yeah, maybe we could do an ultimate
Where you get
box.
all 3 for a discounted price. We'll figure it out for you guys.
Maybe we'll just do a bundle where you get all 3 subscriptions.
We'll bundle it.
And that way we don't have to go crazy with shipping, because then we'll have to charge you an arm and leg on shipping.
Yep. Just put it all in one box. There you go. So I like that. Shout out to Fire Turtle for that idea.
Good idea, Fire Turtle.
Well, guys, it's been long enough. We appreciate you listening, watching.
An hour?
It's been, yeah. We got heated there. It got interesting for a minute. So hopefully we didn't hurt anybody's feelings today. That wasn't the point. I just wanted to kind of point out some stuff. Hopefully get some conversation going with you and your buddies, or drop some stuff in the comments. I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts on what we talked about was.
I want to say good luck to Monster Bass. I hope that you don't get eaten alive, and I hope everything goes.
Oh, most of it. I hope it works well, because the rod market's an animal, so I hope it goes well.
I may have to get one.
You know, I was thinking the same just to test it out. So, but shout out to everybody. If you're new to the channel, if you're listening over on Spotify, please drop a subscribe, follow. And like I said, if we get to 200 subscribers here on YouTube, guys, I still am looking at this giant box next to me filled with big baits, small baits, name brands, custom bait makers. That's going to go to one of you guys. So, as always, guys, good luck out there. Hope to see you on the water. And we'll see you next Tuesday, maybe with some guests. Anything else, Tyler?
Oh, peace out, guys. Have a good night. I'm sending out the live sale orders right now. That's what I'm doing for the rest of the night.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.